Hello everyone, welcome to the sample exam questions discussion as the part of the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner crash course. I am intended to do this one to understand for my understanding as well whether I had covered all the required things which is required to sit for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam. So as the part of that initiative, I had created a series of 13 videos which is available in the same playlist. So you can very well watch those videos as well. So as the part of this discussion, we are going to take the sample exam questions from the AWS website for the cloud practitioner exam and try to peel it off. It is whether we had created this course, whether we covered the things which are required to pass the exam, and also some exam strategies while sitting the exam, while going through the exam questions. So here is the sample exam questions from AWS for the cloud practitioner. So let's go each and everything. We can deep dive into each and every question and try to understand. So question number one: why is the AWS more economical than traditional data centers for applications with varying compute workloads? So major first point to remember for AWS exam, it's like there are two ways by which you can get the answer. One is like directly you can get the answer for the question, but for some of the other question, elimination is the technique which you need to use so that you can eliminate the bad answers which are the distractors on the answer section so that you can get the correct answer. So in this question, for this question, you need to go through all the answers, then only you can understand that. So AWS is more economical. And one more point to remember, it's the keywords. There are some keywords in question which you need to catch it so that you can get the answer correctly. So keywords for this question is economical than traditional data centers. This is the keyword. So economical than traditional data centers. Let's see. Amazon EC2 cost or build on a monthly basis. There is nothing about the economy over here. Users retain full administrative access to their EC2 instances. Nothing about economy here. EC2 instances can be launched on demand when needed. This is the correct launch. It is like this is talking about the economy. So we can launch our EC2 instances on demand whenever we need. This will provide us cost benefit. Users can permanently run through enough instances to handle peak workloads. This is also not about the economy. So answer for this question, it is going to be C. Right, coming to the second question. Which AWS service would simplify migration of a database to AWS? We covered this as the part of the last section. It is the straightforward answer. Even without answer, we can answer that it is the DMS, Amazon Database Migration Service. It is there. So we can go for option B, but let's dive deep into other options as well. Storage gateway, there is nothing to deal with database migration. It is all about connecting your on-premises with the AWS. And Amazon EC2 is all about infrastructure as a service, nothing to do with the migration. AppStream is also not the right choice. Here the database migration service is the correct choice. Coming to question number 3. Which AWS offering enables users to find, buy and immediately start using software solutions in their AWS environment? Here the key thing to know is this one: find, buy, immediately start using software solutions. So we covered this as the part of the first lecture itself. Software as the service offerings are available in AWS marketplace to get the softwares, and we can run it at any time. So AWS marketplace, option D is the right answer for this question. But let's deep dive into config. There is nothing related with buying and other thing. Buy is the keyword for this question. OpsWorks is all about configuration management. There is nothing to do with the question. And SDK, it is all about connecting to AWS and doing stuff. So AWS marketplace is the right answer for this question. Which networking service enables a company to create virtual network within AWS? Again, a straightforward question here. Virtual network within AWS, it is going to be Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. We covered this in an extensive way on our networking topic. So we can make use of AWS VPC to create the virtual network within AWS. Let's again see other options as well. Config is all about configurations. Route 53 is all about domain name system. Direct Connect is all about connecting your on-premises infrastructure to AWS using the dedicated line. But here all these ABC options options are completely not matching to your question, virtual network creation must be done using Amazon VPC. Coming to fifth question, AWS shared responsibility model here. So what is the AWS responsibility under the AWS shared responsibility model? If you remember the diagram which we discussed as the part of the session, so we can simply answer this question. It is like B, maintaining the physical hardware. So the security of the cloud and security in the cloud. So security of the cloud is completely managed by AWS, which means all the physical hardware, all the other things will be managed by AWS. So AWS responsibility is managing the physical software, which is going to be B here. Let's see, A, configuring the third party applications, it's our own responsibility. Securing the application is our responsibility. Managing the guest OS is also our responsibility. If you go through the diagram which I had shown as the part of the video, then you can simply answer this question. Coming to question number 6. Which component of AWS global infrastructure does AWS CloudFront use to ensure low latency delivery? If you watched our videos, you can simply answer that. It's answer B, edge locations. We covered this in an extensive way. Edge locations are the one what AWS CloudFront uses to provide the content delivery network. So AWS regions, availability zones and VPC are completely the distracting answers. Edge location is the correct answer for CloudFront. Coming to question number 7. How would a system administrator add an additional layer of login security to users AWS management console? We covered this as the part of the IAM. The direct answer is multi-factor authentication. You can enable the multi-factor authentication to add an additional layer of security to the IAM users which we are going to design. Right? The cloud directory is not at all an option. It is completely different, and IAM roles is like delegating the access. It is not the option for additional layer of security. CloudTrail is completely for auditing purpose. So MFA is the correct choice. The one good advantage in Cloud Practitioner exam, it is like distractors or complete distractors. So you can directly select the answer from the answer options very easily. Coming to question number 8. Which service can identify the user that made the API call when an EC2 instance is terminated? We covered this in an extensive way. API calls are captured using AWS CloudTrail. So CloudTrail is there. Answer B is the correct answer. Fortunate or unfortunate, CloudWatch is not there. If CloudWatch is there, that also again some closer cut to the answer option. So CloudTrail is straightforward answer since there is a mention of the API over there. Trusted Advisor is all about cost optimization, security and all these things. Xray, it is completely AWS Xray is all about managing the Lambda logs and other thing. AWS IAM is all about user management. There is nothing to deal with API call over there. So CloudTrail is the correct answer for question number 8. Coming to question number 9, which service would you use to send alerts based on CloudWatch alarms? We covered this in extensive way throughout our video courses. It is SNS. SNS is the notification service which send alerts to anything. So simple direct answer for this question, but let's see. It is CloudWatch alarm can be integrated with SNS, but CloudWatch and CloudTrail integration is not at all required. In very rare scenarios, we used to send the CloudTrail logs to S3, and from there we can take it on CloudWatch, not on alarms, CloudWatch metrics and monitoring, but CloudTrail and CloudWatch alarms are not interconnected. Trusted Advisor and CloudWatch alarms are also not interconnected. Route 53 and CloudWatch alarms are not interconnected. So only direct option for this question is simple notification service. Coming to the final question, where an user find the information about the prohibited actions on the AWS infrastructure? Here I am going to make use of the elimination technique. Prohibited actions on AWS infrastructure, Trusted Advisor won't provide that, and then AWS IAM is also not the option. It is all about user management. Billing console is all about billing. So AWS acceptance usage policy option D is the right answer by going through the elimination. Trusted Advisor, billing and identity management and billing console. So again it is like prohibit. AWS artifacts will provide some of the artifacts which are required like compliance and all the PSI DSS. So all those types of information will be provided on AWS artifacts. AWS acceptance usage policy is the place where you can find the prohibited actions on the AWS infrastructure. So this smaller session is all about providing an overview and trying to estimate myself whether I had covered the required things for the AWS certified cloud practitioner exam. So you can very well make use of the elimination technique and direct answering questions as well. You need to catch the exact keywords from the question to get the answers correctly. I hope this video has been informative for you. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching my courses. Thanks a lot.